So just like we said already loads of times, they're complex numbers, but we know that they're not that complicated. Anyway, so today we are going to look at multiplying complex numbers by a real number. So it's very similar to some of the other maths that we've worked on in the past, and you're going to see just again how manageable and how straightforward it is. So here we go. Okay, so here we go. In this question here in part 1, we are asked to find 2z1. So the first thing we know, well, that's 2 times, and we know that z1 is 4 plus 2i. And so simply multiplying those out is just like expanding any other brackets or multiplying a number by a number outside a bracket. It's the first number gets multiplied by the first term and it gets multiplied by the second term. And so that means we're going to have 2 bracket 4 plus 2 bracket, and in this case it's plus 2i, so I just write it like that. So 2 by 4, well, that's 8, and 2 by 4i, or 2 by 2i gives us 4i, and so that's my answer for 2z1. Okay, we're going to take a look here at our next question. And that next question asks us to find z1 plus 3z3. So I'm going to z1 plus 3z3. So rewriting those, I have z1, well, that's 4 plus 2i plus, and that's 3 times, and in this case it's z3, and z3 we know is minus 2 plus I. Okay, and so I am going to, just like with BOMDAS or BEMDAS, I'm going to deal with the multiplication first. So basically that means I'm going to deal with this area here first. And so keeping my order of operations, I keep my 4 plus 2i. Now that's going to give me plus, well, 3 times minus 2. We're just going to break it up for this first time for this example and see what that is that we're actually doing. And that's plus 3 times and the I that was inside the brackets. So again, continuing on here, I have still done nothing here with my 4 plus my 2i. And now I have 3 by 2. Well, 3 by 2 is 6. And a plus by a minus is a minus. And here I have 3 by I. So that gives me 3i. Okay, and now I'm just left to tidy all of this up. And so we remember from before, like terms together. So that's the 4 and the minus 6 because they're both real numbers. So I'm just going to write those down beside each other. And that gives me then the plus 2i plus 3i. And so finishing off there, well, 4 minus 6 is minus 2. Plus 2i plus 3i is plus 5i. And again, put a red box around it to show that I have finished off. Okay, so here in this question in part 3, we are asked to look at 3z1 minus z2, and it's again exactly the same as what we've been doing. I'm going to have 3 bracket z1, which is 4 plus 2i, and that's minus, and this time it's minus z2, which is 3 plus 2i, and again I'm making sure to put all of that into brackets. So again, the first thing with order of operations I'm going to deal with is multiplication. So I have 3 by this and 3 by that, and then also that minus sign here, that's like a multiplied, because that minus is distributed over the whole bracket. But anyway, we'll come to that in a second. So 3 by 4, well, we know that that's 12. 3 by 2 is 6, and it's a plus sign by a plus sign, so it's plus 6i. Now I have minus by 3 is minus 3, and minus by 2i is minus 2i. And again, as we know from before, like terms together, so that's the 12 and the minus 3, and then we'll have the plus 6i and the minus 2i. So dealing with those first, well, 12 minus 3, I know that that's 9, and 6i then minus 2i, the other two that are left, that's 6i minus 2i is plus 4i. and that's my answer. Okay, so for our learning check here, it's the same question and it's part 4, and so for the learning check, you're asked to find 4z1 minus 2z3. So off you go, and then you can complete the assignment on Schoology.